Hello, friends. Today we are going to talk about a book. We are going to read a book rather. The name is Create Your Ideal Customer Profile so your marketing, products, services are always on target. The book is by Get Set Go, and let's start reading now. There are almost 5 modules of the book. Let me read out each module. Module 1 talks about the primary target audience. Module 2 talks about build your 5D ideal customer profile called ICP, under which we have lesson 1 to 6. And then we have module 3, put it all together. Module 4 is what to do with your new ICP, and conclusion and next steps. So let us start with the introduction of the book. One of the greatest challenges the business face is attracting the right customers. Business owners want to entice those people who will benefit most from their offers and who are eager to buy their products and services. However, if businesses aren't clear who they are targeting, they will find it difficult to reach to those people and generate revenue. Unfortunately, many entrepreneurs and business owners don't take necessary steps to get to know who their potential customer really are before they start marketing. As a result, they often end up frustrated and disappointed when they don't make the sales they are expecting. Having an ideal customer profiles helps you not only to attract income but also allows you to develop a long-term marketing you need for your products and services. When you know exactly who you are talking to and what they are looking for, your strategy will be more successful. An ideal customer profile will also help you with your branding, lead generation, community building, content creation, and product development. Whether you are an entrepreneur who is just starting out or someone with an existing business, you need to build out a detailed profile of your ideal customer. Everyone is not your customer. It's impossible to be all things to all people, and it doesn't make sense to try. A great clarity you have regarding your ideal customer, the more focused and effective your marketing efforts will be. You owe it to yourself to invest the time this takes so that you can start reaping the rewards. In this course, you will find the keys to unlocking your ideal customer profile. You will go step by step through the questions you need to ask to really get to know this person, as well as research methods you use discover the mindset, attitudes, and behaviors. By the end of the course, you will have a detailed profile that you can use in multitudes of ways to sustain, grow your business. Here is a roadmap through the course. First, you have to identify the primary target audience. Then, build your 5D ideal customer profile, which includes number one, gather the facts, number two, feel their pain, number three, explore their wants, number four, discover what matters most to them, number five, uncover their objections, and number six, review your data. Then comes putting it all together. Validate your answers, analyze your data, and refine your ICP. And finally, what to do with your new ICP. So, what are the learning objectives? By the time you complete this program, you'll be able to identify your primary target audience so that you can market to those people who are at the best fit for your products and services. Create an initial ideal customer profile by tapping your current understanding of your audience. Next point, validate your customer information so that you have the most accurate data on which to base your ideal customer profile. Analyze your data and refine the profile of your ideal customer so you will be confident in tailoring your marketing to them. Next, decide how your detailed ideal customer profile can have most impact right now. so that you get started using immediately. Next, consolidate and implement your learning and plan future action steps so that you can achieve the goals you set for these course and continue to refine your customer profile over a period of time. This course is broken down into five major modules as we spoke in the beginning, individual lessons to take step by step through how to create your ideal customer profile. The modules follow a logical order. So while you can skip around if you want, it's best to work through them one at a time. As you go through each module, use your action guides to help you complete the actions and at the end of each of the module. Expectations. So before we start the course, take a minute to think about what you want to get out of it. In the action guide, write down three skills you expect to gain. Now that you are clear about what you want out of this course, let's get started. Module 1, Primary Target Audience. Every product and service appeals or has potential to appeal much more to certain person than it does to everyone else. Yet most of us approach marketing as though we are trying to sell to everyone instead of focusing on one specific person. This often happens because we don't want to restrict ourselves and believe that by doing so, we will miss out on the new clients. The truth is that you try to appeal to everyone, you run the risk of appealing to no one. Here is a great example of this phenomenon. You own a hamburger business and you are starting outside a large convention to generate customers to your business down the road. You are waiting to lunch break to take advantage of hush rush of people to give away small hot dogs. You have prepared all your toppings, business flyers, staff to handle the rush to make sure you don't miss a single potential customer. The group comes out, but you only managed to give away 25 free hot dogs and when you were expecting 500. What went wrong? You didn't realize the convention was a health and wellness event mostly attended by vegetarians and vegans. Moral of the story is if you are taking a wrong audience, it doesn't matter how good your offer is. There will be a people who are better suited to your offer than others. It's obvious that there is no point trying to sell meat to vegetarian or parenting advice to people who don't have children, but other choices are less obvious. Consequently, your goal is to drill down to a specific person who is most likely to buy from you. That includes thinking about who you can help most and who you want to sell to. If you aren't making the sales you want, then you are failing to hit the mark when it comes to your promotion. If you are new to business, then you are in a great place to start because you are laying the important groundwork now to get you those sales later. Further on this course, you will pinpoint in a minute a detailed description of your ideal customer, which will become your ideal customer profile, ICP. Let's kick off the process with some more general questions you get to focus on. They are applicable if you are just starting out in business, if you are not, or if you are more experienced. Answer these questions. Who do you want to serve? And along with that, who do you not want to work with? Let's focus on the first one. Who do you want to serve? This will include people you enjoy working with, those you can relate to most, those for whom you have complete solutions to their challenges. For example, if you feel your experience and services would best suit women starting out in the business, then part of your ICP will be female entrepreneurs. Question number two, who do you not want to work with? This is an equally legitimate question. After all, you can't work with everyone in the world, so you need to make choices. For example, If you offer an action-oriented coaching package, you don't want to attract those who aren't ready to do the work. Or if you sell innovative storage solutions for modern homes, you don't want to draw in people who are very traditional in their taste. It makes sense for you to choose the people who are best fit for your product or services. Because you will be matching your product or services for your customer, it makes sense to reflect on your offering at this stage as well. You need to know the specific benefits your customer will receive when they buy your product or service and be able to describe how it helps them. Write down what your primary product or service is and then answer this question. The question is, what problem does my primary product or service solve? What problem my primary product or service solve? Let's get more deeper into it. So if you already have customers, you can use the data from the past sales to help you figure out how and why your customers use your offering. You can then identify the profile of the very best customer of your product or service that can form the basis of your ICP. If your business is new, focus on problem you are trying to solve, and your ideal customer should be those who want to solve that problem. Now, let's list down what are the action steps that you need to take. Point number one, who do you want to serve? Point number two, who do you not want to work with? Point number three, what's your primary product or service? The point A is what problem does your primary product or services solve? And B, what's the profile of your current best customers or taken from the existing businesses? So that ends the module number one. Now let's get on to module number two. Build your 5D ideal customer profile, ICP. Now that you have an idea of who you want to serve, it's time to dig deeper and investigate details of who that person is. You would normally think about a person in 3D, but in these modules, you will be looking into every aspect of your ideal customer's life from a different angle. So we are calling it 5D to reflect that more in depth. You will also be crafting the questions you will need to ask to gather the data that you need. Now, lesson number one, gather the facts. Lesson number two, feel their pain. Lesson number three, explore their wants. Lesson number four, discover what matters most to them. Lesson number five, uncover their objections. Lesson number six, review your data. In the lesson, in these modules, you will find a number of questions to answer. You don't need to answer all of them, but choose the ones you feel are most important or useful, revealing knowledge about your customer. In these first swift to gather information, take your answers from your own understanding of your customers and your best guess initially. Then, in the following module, you will check out these information and fill in any gaps. Use any existing data that you have in your email list of subscribers or from the past buyers. If you don't have any customers yet, there are several ways to approach this. One, by reflecting on your own experiences. Two, talk to people you know personally. Three, post in the social media groups you belong to. Now, let's go a little deeper into each point. Reflect on your own experience. This will be especially valuable if you have gone through the challenges of your target market that is facing and you can identify with them. For example, if you have suffered from skin conditions and found healing treatment which you now offer for a sale, you will be able to empathize with the pain embarrassment of the fellow that suffers. Point number two, talk to people you know personally. Friends, family members, colleagues, past colleagues, societies, and anyone whom you know in your neighborhood are who are representative of your ideal customer and get their take on the questions. Point number three, post in the social media groups that you belong to. If you can get the permission from the group moderator, for example, if you are in the supportive group for new entrepreneurs where you can help each other, you may be allowed to post a survey. Whether you are new or experienced, a question is crucial step and you can find to skip it. As you work through the five specific sections, you may find that there seems to be some overlap. This is intentional. You are looking at your customer from all angles. So it's important to visit the same issue from different perspectives. For example, the cost of staying in their dead end job, feel their pain, may include putting off the retirement and not being able to help their children pay for the college. At the same time, one of their dreams, or you can explore their wants, could be send all their children to college and retire early and travel the world. Their values. Discover what matters to them the most. Their values will probably include things like being there for the family or enjoying life to the fullest. These issues, framed from the different viewpoint, will give you a deeper understanding of your ideal customer. As you start answering these questions, the other questions may pop up. Note them down, as you may want to use them instead of suggested questions either now or in the next module. So, lesson number one, gather the facts that we talked about. There are various lessons. So, now let's go deeper into each lesson. Gather the facts. You're going to investigate three areas to start building your pictures of ICP. First is demographic, second, psychographic, and third, behavioral characteristics. What is demographic? Demographic information is hard data about your customers. It's easiest to collect and include. It could be like age, geographic location, gender, income level, educational level, marital status, occupation, and employment status, language spoken by them, ethnicity, home owner, car owner, household size, and so on and so forth. Right? Each aspect can be important depending on your business. It will dictate your marketing method to a certain extent. For example, age can have a major effect on consumer behavior as in advancing years may lead to changes in the new lifestyle, the personal values, the health needs, etc. Geographic location may have an influence on people's clothing needs, media availability, and access to the technology. Here is an example of a short demographic profile. Gender, female, age 34, status single, location New York, education BA, and annual income $65,000. Your question for these category will be simple and straightforward. For example, how old are you? Where do you live? How much do you earn? So on and so forth, right? So let's get on to the second point, psychographics. Demographics give you the hard data, but they won't convey the motivators, interest, attitudes, personality, and other aspects of your customers. These are facts you will discover through psychographics, which will show you what your ICP values and give you a clue to how to market them, right? Psychographic also includes things like general behavior, political and religious views, lifestyle, hobbies and pastimes, values, attitudes, and their personality. You will dwell into some of these areas in the later session of these modules. For example, person's value will be apparent when you ask what matters to them in their lives in lesson number 4. In this section, you are looking to get global idea of a personality traits of your ICP and to see if they have preferences such as religious and spiritual beliefs or political or social learnings, which will have an impact on how to market them. Let's add to that demographic profile from earlier. Gender, female, age 34, status single, location New York, education BA, annual income $65,000, personality trait outgoing, reads crime fictions, belongs to community action projects for the homeless, and believes in spirituality but not organized religion. So here are some sample questions you can use to determine psychographics. First, how would you describe yourself? Second, what's your attitude to sports and fitness? What type of music, books, movies do you like? What What's your favorite movie of all time? What book are you reading at the moment? What do you do when you're not working? How do you like to spend your time on weekends? Would you describe yourself as a technology minded? How do you prefer to consume information? How do you access information? Like this, which could give you some idea of psychographics. Now let's get on to third point, behavioral characteristics. You may not consider behavior as a fact, but in terms of ICP, when they are habitual, they give crucial information that can be considered factual. We will look at two of the most useful characteristics in terms of ICP. Social media habits. You are likely to find that your ideal customer is active somewhere on social media. When you know where that is, when they where they go, when they go, how long they spend there, and so on and so forth. You will know a lot more about by knowing their social media profiles and or social media behaviors. You will be able to use this information to help define your marketing channels and determine where is the most appropriate place for your business to develop presence. You can't be everywhere, so it makes sense to spend your social media time in the most effective way by going where your ideal customer spends time. Each social media platform provides its own built-in analytics. Use them to help you get to know your ideal customer better and build up a more detailed customer profile. Think about our example profile so far. Would you expect your 34-year-old New Yorker with a taste of a crime fiction to be active on Instagram, or do you think LinkedIn is more her style? Here are some samples questions you can use to determine the behavioral characteristics. Is your ideal customer the type to be active on your social media? What platforms do they use? Which is a favorite platform? What do they use social media for? How often do they visit these platforms? At what time of the day they spend time on the favorite platforms? How long do they spend time on social media platforms? How do they engage with their content? What groups do they belong to? And whom do they follow? Is your ideal customer type an active social media type? Although this is likely, don't make assumptions without checking, as there are some people who prefer not to be on social media. And the questions that we have seen are very, very crucial. So dwell upon those questions to find out various behavioral aspects. Buying behaviors. When you know the way someone buys, it will help you decide how to market towards them. We don't buy, or we all don't buy in the same way. Products and services are purchased for the variety of reasons such as brand loyalty, cost, habit, speed of delivery, availability, and so on. So you need to know that these reasons are for ideal customers. Most people don't rush and buy the first car they see or the first chair they sit in. They follow a process before making a decision to buy. This is why it's important to understand buying habits and patterns of your customers. To identify the buying behaviors, it's useful to find out as much as you can about the people who buy your product or services, especially their feelings about consumerism, their attitude towards pricing, their purchasing patterns, and so on. This is what companies that they pay for search advertising to do, and this enables them to send you pop-ups and the ad messages and coupons which you might be interested when you are online or when you are searching something. And that's not to say you will want to do the same thing, but you can start observing and buying behaviors of the customers to help you market well. Here are types of questions you need to be able to answer. Do they buy on impulse or after careful consideration? Are they cost conscious or interested in quality or prestige? Are they loyal, regular shoppers or one time buyers? Do they buy online or they prefer an offline in person model? Do they prefer to watch video demo as a part of buying? Do they like to try before buying? How much do they research product before purchasing? Do they rely on social proof? Do How they frequently do they buy? How much do they spend per month on such product or services? Right? So these are very, very important questions in order to understand the buying behavior of your customers. Now let's get on to the action steps of this module. First, identify the relevant demographic data of your target customers. Choose the answer, Choose and answer the minimum of 5 questions in A. Psychographics, B. Behavioral characteristics or social media habits, C. Behavior characteristics of or buying behaviors, which we discussed, and 3. Add this information to initial thoughts column of your ICP spreadsheet. You can create an ICP spreadsheet where you can categorize these information in a structured manner. Lesson number 2, feel their pain. Problems show up in people's life in all sort of ways, including financial concerns, health issues, relationship difficulties, business worries, and more. Someone who is in challenging situations will be paying cost somewhere along the line, and cost is what we mean by the pain points. Your ideal customers will be experiencing pain, which you will hope to alleviate with your product or service. Therefore, it's important for you to be able to identify at least some of these dilemmas so that you can understand your ICP stresses better and targets the right solution for the needs. Here are some sample questions you can ask. What is the biggest challenge at that moment? What about these keeps you at night? When it comes to X, what is your biggest fear or frustration? What are your three biggest frustration in these area? In the area of X, what is the one goal that seems unattainable to you? What is costing you not to have this problem handled? How important is this for you to handle it right now? What do you feel is holding you back? In the area of X, where do you get stuck? If you could learn or do only one thing in the area of X, what would they be? Right? So these are important questions which you can ask. Action steps about this lesson is choose and answer minimum 5 questions from this section. Add this information to initial thought column of your ICP spreadsheet. Now let's get on to the lesson 3. Explore their wants. The flip side of difficulties people experience are their dreams and aspirations. These are their motivators and guided goals in life. They may present on surface as solely business focused, but if you dig deeper, You'll find their true drivers. For example, if you have a customer who says their specific financial goal is to make six figure this year, ask them why they want to have that income. They will come up with the real reason, which could be to send their children to college, buy their own home, be debt free, take early retirement, travel the world, provide comfort for their elderly parent, and have peace of mind. Here are some sample questions you can use. If you could have a magic wand and have things any way you want, what would you ask for? Question number two, what would you like to have your life look like if you could meet and overcome these challenges or solve these problems? Next question, in the area of X, what is the specific result or outcome you would like to achieve? Next, tell me about the vision you have for what you want your business, life, relationship to look like in a years to come if things were to go really well. What inspired you to set up your business or become self-employed or work for a particular company? Next questions could be, why do you want to get fitter, lose weight, or make more money? Or what is your current annual income? What would you like to be? What would you like it to be in next 12 months time or next year? What would it mean to you if you achieve your desired revenue? What would increase the income allow you to do that you are not able to do right now? How do you envision your ideal lifestyle? Right? These are very, very important questions. So let's take the action step for this lesson. Choose the answer. Number one, choose the answer a minimum of 5 questions from this section. Second, add this information to your ICP spreadsheet. Lesson number four, discover what matters most to them. Some of the aspirations you will discover will connect to the core values of the person and their priorities in the life. While this area is linked to the previous one, it's not exactly the same, and we, as we said before, it's exploring another angle to your ICP to round them out as a person. You need to understand what's important to them personally, as this will influence and choices they make, the way they seek resolutions to the problems, and the products and services they buy. For example, strict vegetarian isn't going to be buying hamburgers or leather shoes, and committed environmentalist won't to purchase single plastic item or take regular flights. Here are some sample questions you can ask. What are your core values? How do you view this world? What do you believe in? What's the most important thing in life? Why did you choose to particularly start this business? What's important to you about what you do? How would you like your company to be known as? What's your most important goal for the next 90 days? What would you want customers to say about you if they were to refer you? What are three most important qualities in business? So let's understand the action steps. Choose and answer minimum 5 questions from this section. Add this information to the initial thoughts and put it in your ICP spreadsheets. So we are coming to lesson number 5, uncover their objections. Whatever the reality of someone's situation, there are often hidden and underlying issues that hold them back. These are mindset gremlins that trip people up and prevent them from achieving the goal. For example, if a person feels deep down that selling is sleazy, it will be hard for them to make sales. However, they may not realize that it's their thinking that's sabotaging the sales one way or another. To get an idea of how self-aware someone is, ask question: what's holding you back? You'll get a range of answers which will give you a clue as to how tuned they are to their inner self. For example, a person who tells you they can't attract enough customers because it's the current economic climate suggests someone who externalizes and looks for someone to blame. Someone else may give a reason: I never seem to be able to follow through looking for customers, which suggests that person who is more self-aware and inward-looking, potentially someone who is easier to help. Individuals may or may not be conscious of their inner issues, so use sensitive and gently probing questions to elicit this information. Here are some sample questions you can use. What currently stops you from getting what you want? How do you feel about success? What's on your mind? First thing in the morning. What way do you sabotage your own success? What are you worried about on your way to work? What are the issues or challenges that you need to fix? What's your number one obstacle to business growth? What's keeping you from solving the problem now? How confident are you that you can truly deliver what you promise to your customers? How much better is your product or service than your competitors? Let's understand the action steps for this lesson. Write down what you believe your ideal customer think is holding them back. Choose and answer minimum 5 questions from this section. Add this information to your ICP spreadsheet. Lesson number 6. Review your data. Once you've completed these 5 lessons, you need to take a look at the data that you have collected. Take a note of things that strike you when you review your answers and note any major trend in your ICP spreadsheet. For example, if you have uncovered a particular age group, income level, value, dream, and attitude, then this suggests this person is in your ICP. Take a profile that's emerging and write their backstory. Use your imagination to create narrative to explain how they got where they are today and where they came from. While this may not be totally accurate, it will get you used to putting flesh on the bones of your ICP. In the next module, you will be checking your ideas by contacting typical ideal customers. To prepare for this, go back through the suggested questions for each of the section and pick the ones that work best for your business. This might be the ones you have already answered or new ones that seems more appropriate. You need to come up with at least 5 tailored questions in each section, and you want the most relevant. So amend the wording where you need to, or design the new questions that makes more sense. Action steps for this lesson. Number 1, review the data that you have collected and note any major trend that have emerged from your answers. Add these to the trends or common factors column of your ICP spreadsheet. Write your emerging profiles backstory. Tailor minimum 5 questions in each section that you will use in the next module. Let's start with module 3. Put it all together. Up to now, you have been going off your initial information about your ideal customers in this module. You will be validated and check this information so that you arrive at ideal ICP. Lesson number one, validate your answers. Lesson number two, analyze your data and refine your ICP. So let's go to lesson number one, validate your answers. Up to this point, you have been primarily working from your own thoughts and possibly some data if you haven't about the existing customers. Now, it's a time to research in depth to make sure your expectations are correct and to gather any information that you still need. To remind you, the five key areas you need to have information on are: lesson one, gather facts; lesson two, feel their pain; lesson three, explore their wants; lesson four, discover what matters most to them; lesson five, uncover the objections. These are several ways to gather the data, which we will break down into the modules. Now, call people. The heading is Call People. The best way to find out what goes on in the heads of the ideal customers is talk to them. This can be by meeting them for a coffee, having a telephone chat, or a Zoom or a Skype call, etc. It means talking to a live person for a period of time. This is a great way to meet the customer because it's your opportunity to mine for gold and set your business up with the best chances of success. This is stage that most business people and entrepreneurs breeze through quickly or skip entirely. You plan the questions you will use in the last module, so you are ready to start interviewing your ideal customers. When you arrange the call or meeting, explain that they will be helping you with your research and that you won't be trying to sell them anything. Allow 30 minutes or so for each conversation. Take notes throughout or make a recording if possible. When you analyze your data, you will need these notes to remind you what was said. If you are a new to business, find a minimum of 5 people you can talk to and make this step priority before you do anything else in your business. Of course, this is probably a more daunting task than designing your website or creating a product or taking another online course on marketing. But none of these activities will bear fruit if you don't know who you are targeting in the first place. Choose those 5 people and set up the calls with them. They could be followers of a social media page, early subscriber to a new email list, connections, or LinkedIn's. If you have existing customers, don't think you can skip this step. Choose a minimum 5 of your best customers and arrange them to speak with. Complete the ICP spreadsheet with additional information. Create a survey. Second most important source of information is a survey, which you spend out with past customers and current email subscribers. You can use or adapt any of the questions in the course of your survey. The number of questions will depend on what you are aiming to find out, but don't include too many or survey takers won't finish it. Keep the survey at 10 questions or fewer and less than 20 minutes in the length for the best chance of completion. If you are asking for simple demographic information such as age, location, or income, then this can form short survey which won't take people long to complete. If you want to dig deeper into pain and frustration, then you will be asking your respondent to spend more time on exercise for you. You will need to be totally clear in your questions as you aren't there to explain to them what you mean. It's probably the best to stick to demographic, psychographic, and behavioral questions with the survey. Survey can be great for canvassing larger groups, although the response rate is generally lower at around 10%, especially if the people don't know you well. You can create online surveys with tools like Google Forms, SurveyMonkey, and Survey Sparrow. Where else to research? If you still don't have all the information you need to compile complete ICP, then there are plenty of other sources you can use to supplement your data. Here are some ideas to get you going. Existing materials, social media, webinars and group calls, professional events, social events, places of interest, specialist publication. Now make sure you have minded any material you already have, such as email list, testimonials, comments from the followers. If you ever had anyone who was unhappy about the purchase, then their reasons can be informative too. If you don't have existing customers, and even when you do, you can enhance your knowledge by looking at social media. You have already identified the social media habits of your ideal customers. Go and visit their profile, the people they follow, the groups they belong to, and make notes on any knowledge you can gather. For example, if you have an online travel company where you want to target families, look on Facebook, Instagram to see when they take their vacation, where they go, if the children go with them, if they choose activity holidays, so on and so forth. Join webinars or group calls where your ideal customer go and note the questions they ask and comment they make. Remember, going out and meeting with people face to face will yield the most valuable results. Think about the nine Think about in-person and virtual events that would be attractive to the ideal customers, such as trade shows, conferences, and networking meetings. If you are running such an event yourself, then make sure you take time to discuss with people to stop by. Ask yourself, what workshop or seminar would they go to? What trade shows will they attend this year? What professional bodies they will be meeting? What annual conferences they'll attend? Think beyond the professional sphere to their interest and see if you can find them at the golf club, at the Rotaries, Lions, or charity events. Visit places your would-be buyer go, such as restaurants, malls, gyms, subways, grocery stores, daycare centers, offices, etc. Make notes of the product or services you see them using. If they look happy or frustrated, what they are talking about, and so on. Look into any specialist publication they might read, the podcasts they listen to, or the videos they subscribe to, so on and so forth. Your only limit to this research is your imagination. If you don't have clients or prospects yet, you must get out there and talk to real live people. Find events where your ideal customer may hang out online or offline and get to know them. Do whatever it takes to commit to do this. Your business success depends on it. You may not be able to act on all these ideas right away. If you can't, then make a plan for how and when you will gather the data and schedule a time to do it. As you collect information, add this to your ICP spreadsheet. Competitive research. Don't forget to look at your competitors when you are researching for information about your ICP. This can be productive areas of research as they are already targeting your ideal customers. How those customers buy from your competitor right now, and which can give you some ideas of what might be working. Keep in mind that this method isn't a foolproof method, since you don't really know how effective their marketing is. Identify the three nearest competitors of you. These aren't necessarily geographically the nearest, though they may be, but you are the ones who offer the most, they are the ones who offer the most products or services to you. Read through their website and sales pages to see what their marketing tactics are and what language they are using. Look at their company pages on social media and see what people are saying about them and what customers appreciate them the most, which customers are appreciating the most. You will discover what's attracting your ideal customer and what's putting them off. Add this research to your ICP spreadsheet. Let's understand the action steps for these modules. Number one, choose 5 people to have conversation with. Schedule a call or a meeting with them. Hold your conversations. Note your results in the verification conversation column of ICP. Number two, design and send out a survey to a wider audience. Example survey questions, when to send out, etc., which are optional. Note your results in verification survey column of ICP spreadsheet. Number three, list other places to look for data like social media or conferences and events. Make a plan for how and when you will gather the data and schedule time to do it. Note your results in further research column of your ICP spreadsheet. Number four, write down the website URLs of your 3 nearest competitors. What marketing tactics are they using? What do customers appreciate about them? Note your results in the competitor research column of your ICP. Lesson 2, analyze your data and refine your ICP. By now, you should have mountain of data that needs sifting through, give you the best, most in-depth picture of your ideal customer. This will be a mix of quantitative, such as demographic or media habits, qualitative from your questioning and conversations. Both type of information are critical to creating a good ICP. Study your spreadsheet and scan the cells for each section and focus on 3 things: looking for keywords or theme in the responses, pinpointing common factors and recurrent information, and identifying the trends. For example, in the sections on buying behaviors, when you question your 5 people on how they choose the product or services to buy, you will get a variety of answers, such as look at social media recommendations, ask friends what they think about, study online reviews, visit the shops, and choose the cheapest. The first three amounts to relying on social proof that they would be theme of your ICP. Visit the shop and choose the cheapest are the two other ways people making buying decisions. But if majority of your responses are social proof, then it is likely a good indicator that your ideal customer's true behavior is about social media references. Don't forget, you can't serve anyone, so pick what belongs in the ICP and remove the distract from it. Take time over this analysis. When it's done and your spreadsheet completed, you will have your detailed ICP. This fictitious customer description should feel like a real person. You should give them a name to make them even more real to you. This profile will then guide your business decisions, such as marketing, content creation, and product or service development. As a final check of this ICP, find out 5 people to whom you think who are fit in this profile. They could be followers on the social media, past customers, people you know, etc. Name them and then follow them through the social media profiles and their web presences. Check out the groups they belong to, the films they are watching, what and how they are buying, and so on to verify that your ICP works well. If you are uncertain or still have gaps, make plan to fill these in and to revise any existing answers. It's useful to have high level view of these person like snapshot profile. Use the ICP snapshot template to create your own summary for information you have. Action steps for this lesson. First, let's come to module 4. Now, you have your ICP. You will want to start using it right away to benefit your business. It can help you grow your business in some ways, including building your community, attracting new leads, branding your business, content creation, sales and marketing, onboarding new team members, right? So once you do that, in fact, having clear ICP will most likely help you in every aspect of your business. You will want to go on and address all of this, but you can't tackle everything at once. Choose where you think this detailed ICP will have greatest impact right now. For example, use your ICP to improve your existing sales copy. Use your ICP to refine and create your products and services. Use it to develop your marketing strategy. Use it when onboarding new employee. Use your ICP to improve your existing sales copy. Let's understand this. Now that you know exactly the person you are speaking to, you can rewrite your text on landing pages and sales pages and see what results you are getting. For example, if you have lead magnet, you could split test and sign up page for that. These means having two versions of the same page, the one you already have and the newly tweaked text speaking directly to your ICP. Compare the two outcomes over the designated period of time. Use your ICP to refine and create your products and services. Address all the pain points you've identified and show potential customers that you have solutions they are looking for. Use it to develop your marketing strategy. This will influence your messaging and goals you set over coming months. For example, if you found when identifying buying behaviors that your ideal customer relies heavily on social proof when making a buying decision, then your marketing strategy is it should include gathering more testimonials, case studies, and endorsements. Use it when onboarding a new employee and to inform any team member who are doing sales and marketing. Everyone in the business should know ICP. How your ICP affects your marketing. When you choose to start looking at marketing, you need to identify buying behaviors, processes, and preferences that inform which marketing tactics will work best on your ICP. Go back to the data you have and pinpoint how some elements will affect your marketing decision. For example, if you offer a business to business service and you have discovered that all your potential customers are LinkedIn, then it's obvious that this must be your focus when it comes to social media marketing. If you found that ideal customer likes to try before they buy, then see how you could incorporate this in your next promotion by offering free samples or free trials. Your ICP will guide you towards the marketing tactics you should be using. Action steps for this lesson. Choose which area of your business you will use ICP in the first case. List what you need to do to implement this in the action guide and schedule when you will enact your plan. And here comes the last module of this book. Module number 5, conclusion and next steps. You have made it to the end of the course. So now it's time to reflect on what you have achieved and plan what's next. As you learned in the last module, you will find plenty of uses of ICP. Do what you can now and plan other activities for later. Keep a vigilant eye on this ICP. Customer test and habits change over a period of time, and you may need to amend your ICP at different intervals. You have the tools now, so you should be able to make adjustments without starting from the scratch. But over a period of time, you find that you are still making sales and helping people, then you will know you're targeting right people. As you develop other products and services to meet the customer needs, you may need to design another ICP, as the one you created here won't necessarily be valid for the same set of customers. What you learned. This is a course you can refer back to time and again to remind you how to dig deep and identify your ideal customer profile. It's important to reflect on what you have learned. So answer these questions and complete the action plan in your action guide. What have you learned about how to create an ICP? What difficulties have you encountered? How do you plan to address this? What further steps can you take to become totally comfortable with these process? Action steps. Review your ICP in 6 months' time to check that it's still current and valid. Review the course thoroughly and answer the questions what you have learned in your action guide. Use the action plan in action guide to record your goals, what needs to happen next. Thank you very much for being with me throughout the course of this book. Thank you.